Alright, we back for another war. I was hoping to bring Destroyer in again, but this one's going to be about Havok. And then I've got one fight with a rank 1 Sorcerer and one fight with a rank 1 Jabari. But we'll get to those. I'm going up path 2 again all the way. And it's just going to be the Havok show. That's my plan. Now, I wasn't going to go too long without playing like complete dog water. I mean, just, this war is kind of dog water. But I finished strong. But we get to see the dog water first. So up first, I'm going against this Mangog. And my plan was just to use Havok with his L3. I throw on some mutant power backs. And that's kind of the plan. Although it's not really much of a plan. But that's the plan we're going to go with. That's what we're going to go with. Now, I'm obviously back to not knowing where the fight button is. Although, okay. We eventually get there. Now, on this node, when you parry, each parry following will get shorter. Now, I know this going in. So I parry a couple times. I'm like, I should probably stop doing that. And then we'll bait out this L1. I'm trying to build up to my L3. But he is very L1 happy. So now I'm like, well, okay, I kind of need a special for if he gets to 10. And do I finally... Yeah, okay, I do start pushing him to the L2s. I know there's going to be some block damage, but it's whatever. I think it's right. Okay, nope, it's not right here. There it is. I tried to heavy to get the feedback on him for that damage. And then there went my invuln, because that was my plan, was, hey, we'll just push him to L3s if we need and tank him. No, not a big deal. Well, I messed that up. So we throw off our L3, because we were getting in the corner. I needed the unstoppable gone. And okay, now we actually have to bait out specials. So that's great. But it's not a big deal. He is throwing them. And he usually throws them fairly freely. See? I just really didn't want to do the block damage. But here we are. And yep, we're off to Special 3 number 2. And Daddy Mangog really is kind of tanky. But that L3 killed. So we get out of that one. Now up next, my grand plan is we're going to try and cheese this onslaught. It is a rank 3. It's a beefy boy. And of course they put it on the fights I have to take. I don't know how to dex his L1. Yes, you can dex it. I know tons of people that do it. I'm not one of them. So we're going to let him build up to an L1. We're going to let him throw it. Get the neuro shocks on us. And then we're just going to let the plasmas do the work. That's the plan. I just want him to melt himself. See? Get him to an L1. We're going to block it. And you can see, well, I guess I tried dexing. Didn't quite work. And as you can see, he is melting. And I'm just trying to stay out of the corner and let him melt till they fall off. They do eventually fall off, and I have to repeat the process because, of course, it's an L3. Or an R3. It's a rank 3. So I throw off the L2 trying to get some damage before he throws this other one. And I have to heal all the way back up. But, yeah, he just melts a lot. He just dies. That's it. Now, let's get to the dog water part. Yeah. So, I saw that there was a Red Skull on my team. And I got to take a Killmonger on the Polka Dot Power Stone Reflect node. And I'm using a rank 1 7-star sorcerer. So I wanted to bring in Jabari as a synergy partner for that fight. And I was like, hey, I can just take this Red Skull with Jabari. That way I don't have to heal anybody up. Hey, it's Red Skull. What's the big deal? And as you can see, I'm getting kind of nervous because it took a while to load. And I was like, it's Red Skull, bro. Like, this is an easy fight. What could go wrong? And I'm going to go in and apologize for the next probably 4 minutes that you're going to sit here waste watching this. If you fast forward, I kind of don't blame you at all. Because this really is a long time. If only I could get my wife to say 4 minutes was a long time. Man, that'd be the life. But anyways, I digress. So I mean, you can look, man, I'm a minute in and I've done nothing to this guy. I've been trying to throw L1s in order to build up her charges, to make the L2 hit a lot harder. And man, I am just doing, I mean, look at that. 700, maybe 1,000 mediums. I'm just doing nothing to this guy. And at this point, I'm like, okay. I'm starting to realize I could be in a little bit of trouble. Because it didn't feel like I'd been in the fight for that long. But I had. And I'm like, okay, look, I'm a minute and a half in. I've done nothing, so I'm like, let me throw this L2. And I watch it tickle him. That's all it done. It literally just tickled him. It did nothing. And I'm having to weigh down all these auto blocks after L1s. It's just killing my time. And it's getting old, and I'm getting frustrated, and I'm getting a little bit irritated. But I finally get to her hunt, and I can finally get some damage in. And I'm sitting there watching the damage, so I push to the L2 just to try and get as much as I can. And I'm like, okay, 3 minutes in, we're back in good shape. Look, I got this. But now I'm like, I go right back to doing no damage. I'm taking tons of block damage because this fight is just forever long and just won't end. He won't die. And I'm like, okay, I'm at the 2.5 minutes. I'm halfway through the fight. Okay, I've got to get back up to the hunt again. It's the only way that I can end this fight. There's no other way that I can see. I'm sure there is one. There's people way smarter than me. But I don't know what it is. I have no clue. So I'm just trying to get there as fast as I can. And I'm doing no damage. I'm slowly ticking down because of the block damage. And I'm like, okay, I'm at 7. 2 minutes left now. I'm 100 hits in on a war fight. My God. All right, now I'm at 9. I'm like, okay. I'm almost there. And bam. I hit it into his block with the auto block. And now I'm down to 11%. So now I'm not even winning the health race. And I've got 1.5 minutes. I was like, well, I now cannot make any errors. I've got to be careful of the block damage. And now he just won't throw a special. I'm so over this fight. I really am. I just want it to end. That's all I want. I just want it to end. I don't even care who dies at this point. That doesn't even matter. I don't even care anymore. So, all right, now I finally throw that L1. I get into the hunt, and I'm like, okay, look, I got to end it, and I got to end it now. And thank God he dies. Oh, but it gets worse because this fight's terrible. Look at this. I'm like, oh, my God, I don't want to do this shit again. I'm telling you, my butthole is so clenched at this moment because I'm like, I'm not doing this again. No, I'm not signing up for it. No, thanks. I want nothing. I'm like, just let me out. I was like, don't disconnect. Don't disconnect. I'm walking around the house like a maniac just trying to find some internet. And it just won't work. I'm like, oh my God. I'm telling you, I'm about to throw shit at this point. I'm so, finally it loads. So I move up to this Zemo. I'm like, okay, let's take a break. I'll come back later. Let me get my internet sorted out. And during that time, my buddy Trevor, shout out Trevor, he's an amazing dude. He said, hey, I've got an extra Odin pre-fight. Do you want it? I was like, hell yeah. Why not? I'll take it. It makes me more resistant. Now I know Havok's got the high energy, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. But now that's one thing less that I got to worry about. When I can let them build, it doesn't matter. In my mind, it allows me to play more free. Now, in the grand scheme of things, did it make a difference? Probably not. But it helps me mentally prepare for the fight. Because I use Havok for EMP. He's amazing for it. I've taken all kind of tactic attackers on it. But I know with this Zemo, there's the risk of getting rooted when he cleanses 5 debuffs. So that's the danger. So I'm starting out trying to parry and reparry, just building up the prowesses because I want to stay ahead of them, want to stay on top of them. That's why I'm doing real short combos. Really just wanting him to throw the L1, but I'm like, whatever. I put an invo and I'm about to just YOLO this. And we're going to see what happens. Throw the L2. I'm like, hey, he's halfway down. Throw that L3. I don't care, big boy. Throw it. Because now I'm just in a YOLO mode. I'm telling you, this is why you don't let me do the thinking. Because I get my grand plans and they seem like a good idea. But you can see there's number 2 and the shocks. I mean, the plasma, it's just melting him and he dies in 50 seconds. 2 L2s. This is why I love Havok. I'm telling you, the legend of Havok is beginning. I'm going to start the legend of Havok. It's just what's going to happen. So I look around, I skip those fights, skip these fights. All right, I'll take it. Let's go to Arcus. Now this is Hazard Shift with Incinerate Shock. Obviously, Havok's immune to Incinerate. He has the energy stuff for the shock, but I've even got the Odin shock resist now. So I'm resistant to shock as well. Now he will build prowess. But you can see I'll still have my indestructible on. And we're just going to YOLO it again. Because it worked once. Why wouldn't it work twice? Solid advice in my book. So that's what we do. Because this is his last fight. I'm not worrying about the cold snap at all. I don't even pay it any attention. Because I honestly feel I can nuke him before he nukes me. Pushing him to L3, just don't care. Between the plasmas and my specials, I can nuke him. And that's what I'm going to do. Sometimes you have to take the thinking out of it. Just take it all the way out. It's his last fight. I don't care. Now, I do get backed up, but I've got enough prowess. So I'm not all that worried about it. I've done a good job staying on top of them. And yeah, one more special and he's about dead. He decides to throw that, whatever. And down he goes. And down he goes. I did put my power back on. I did have to reboost starting at Zemo. That part kind of sucked. And I did bigger boost this to go around, mainly for this Killmonger. So I figured I'd do it for all of them. It's a rank 3 Killmonger that I'm using a rank 1 sorcerer. Now I did take parry off, which means I have no parry, and I have no dexterity as well. But if you don't take parry off, you're just going to die. So you kind of got to take the good with the bad. But see, this synergy is why I brought Jabari. That way I could throw that special off and get the armor break started early. That was the plan. Now, I suffered through Red Skull, so if I die here, it's going to be all for nothing, and I would probably cry. Pretty sure I'd cry. But without parry and allowing to parry, I don't have to worry about hitting into the block. I'm pretty sure I put on an invuln as well. And we're just going to tank more specials. Because that's apparently what I decided to do all day today. Tank specials. Now, I do throw that one when it wasn't in the armor break phase in order to get a little bit of regen. to help with all the block damage. Because that's the part that I was worried the most about, was the block damage in the fight. Because you can see, like them specials, I have to take the first hit and then dash back because no dex. And so far I've done a good job of not letting him throw his L1. That's another big thing in the fight, because then you can't hit it into his block. But we unfortunately get pushed to a L3. I was waiting for the orange face to come back around, but I got pushed to an L3 when it did. But that's fine. I don't really care. I'm winning the health race, so that's what's important to me at this time. Now, I've already pushed him to 1 L3, so I'm trying not, since I've got such good health, I'm trying not to waste them and just save them for when I need them. And you can see, although it's a little bit slower because it's a rank 1, I mean, it really is a great fight. Really is. Now, ideally, you do want to kind of stack the armor breaks so that your specials do hit harder. And that was something I did a very bad job of. Just like letting him throw an L1. I did a very bad job of that as well. But you can see he's going down. I mean, 40k from a rank 1. 12k's. Okay, now I'm getting the damage rolling. I'm finally realizing I need to stack some armor breaks for damage. I think I'll throw another. Nope, I don't throw another one. He does. Okay, that's great. Let's throw another L2. And it was slow, but hey, a rank 1 is enough. And that's all my war. I just wanted to share the legend of Havok. But that's it from me, guys. Peace.